Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland and today I have a layout for Bramble Fox. I'm using the April Fox box and I'm focusing on the words brighter days and also the little rainbow as well. I had thought I was going to use the sunshine too, but in the end this layout ended up being very monochromatic and the yellow just didn't work. So I picked out a blue paper from the Maggie Holmes Garden Party collection, and all these florals are just so beautiful. I'd initially thought I might fussy cut them, but inspiration just struck. I hadn't really planned this, but I just decided to start cutting, and then I thought I could carry on going and create a floral frame for my layout. So I just roughly cut it at first and then I went round and cut all the detail out as well. So this is me now with this frame cut out. So I just I just went round all the florals. I left some in place. I cut closer to the edges on some places, especially in the corners. So I've ended up with a slightly odd looking shape, but I think it works. I have this lovely, beautiful aperture in the middle of this layout of blue florals. So yeah, looking lovely. So I've just mounted that onto a piece of white card and then trimmed off the manufacturing strip. I've also raised up the florals that are sticking out into the middle. I've raised those up on foam pads so that I have a nice amount of dimension there. So now I've got the basic of my layout done, the outside frame. I can start focusing on my photo and the other bits and pieces I'm going to use to create the rest of the layout. So obviously Brighter Days is going to be my title, and I really want to get that little white rainbow in somewhere as well. I spend quite a while faffing around working out the exact arrangement of this layout, and in the end I end up going for something different. So for ages I have Brighter Days going across the middle section like this, and the white rainbow gets moved around quite a lot. It's tried in quite a few different places. But I also really loved these two squares down in the bottom right corner. They just worked perfectly there. They just, when something just looks right. So they worked there. I'm just carrying on going through the Maggie Holmes Garden Party collection, pulling out the bits and pieces of ephemera in this blue colour, really. Really very focused on colour for this layout rather than anything else. That's exactly what I'm doing, going through everything, picking out bits. Can I bring in any other colours? I thought about bringing in yellow so that I could bring in the sun, but I really wasn't keen. Then I thought about the lighter green. It's kind of like a minty green, which is really quite on the back of this, the background of these blue florals, but that just wasn't looking quite right either. Even though I do end up with some of that colour on this layout, when I was trying to put some layers behind my photo, that wasn't really working. So I have some spare bits of this paper with black and white florals on, and I've fussy cut a few of those out, and I'm going to layer those around my photo as well. So even though I've got lots of florals on this layout already with the frame, I just thought that having some more would look nice, especially in a different colour. So I haven't gone wildly different. I've just gone for like a black and white. I really loved this gingham blue tag that was on the cut apart sheet, so I cut that out, and then I went off camera and spent some time working out what I was going to do with this layout, because everything I did, it just wasn't looking right. I wasn't happy with the arrangement, so I just turned the camera off and then spent some time fiddling. So this is where I've moved on a bit now, and I've got my basic layout sorted. I know where everything's going to go. So I've moved my big clusters right down to the bottom. So I've got my title down there, and I've got a cluster on either side on each corner, and then I'm going to have a small amount around my photo, and then a big area of white space over to the right hand side, because it just makes the layout feel less cluttered. There's a lot going on with the frame and the florals poking out in different places, so I just wanted to make sure that it didn't look too crowded or too cluttered. So I've got these two tags now. I've got the gingham one that I cut from the cut apart sheet, and then there's another one as well, which has got the black and white florals on. Again, that is cut from the cut apart sheet. And I've just distressed the edges of both, punched holes and tied twine actually through them, and tied them in a bow. But having two bows looked a bit cluttered, so I took one off. and I've just stuck with the one, and that looks really nice poking out to the right of my photo. The layer behind the photo, the dark colour, is one of the cut apart sheet pieces, but the reverse. And I say I've still got some of those black and white fussy cut florals around my photo as well. I've also tucked some into the bottom sections of the layout as well. So I'm going to commit now and stick down my title, my Brighter Days. What a lovely title that is. I think that's a really lovely phrase, lovely saying, and it works so well for this situation we are currently in. Not only has the weather brightened a bit, but we're now in the UK, we're easing our restrictions quite a bit, and we're allowed to go out and see people and do things, and places are open, and definitely things feel brighter. So absolutely perfect timing, Bramble Fox, as always. Yeah, Brighter Days is just stuck down there. And then I've still got the rainbow down at the bottom right. So like I said earlier, I've tried this in many different places, and I did settle on this bottom right corner. But at the moment, it's still an open design, and it's showing all the layers underneath it. And I'm not too sure about that. So I'm going to mount that onto some white card in a moment. At the top there, I just added some puffy stickers that say think happy, be happy. I've also added some chipboard hearts down the bottom, and the ephemera frame from the Garden Party collection in the bottom right corner as well. It's like an oval frame. I actually backed that in white card too, so that it became one solid piece rather than an aperture, which would show the layers through it. So then that works as a layer then over on the right. On the left, I've got a little journaling card from the cut apart sheet, and then a little blue box with some flowers on, admit one ticket, and some more flowers. And that little journaling box means that I can write on there and put my journaling in there. So that was perfect and an ideal place to put my journaling. So just writing that in now. And I had a leaf from one of my flowers covering up my space I wanted to write on, so I had to just sort that out. Just written the date over on the right hand side too. So okay, it's all kind of coming together now. I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. I'm just grabbing a colour of Shimmer's paints there, and splattering that on. It's called So Beautiful. It's a really, really lovely colour. And it's a spray bottle, but I just used it directly out of the bottle with a paintbrush and splattered that way. So I've just added a few splatters of those around my main clusters. I'm now coming in with some sequins. So I'm a big fan of Spiegelmum scrap sequins, and I'm using an older set called Holiday Magic, which is a Christmas set because it has gold Christmas trees in it. But obviously I haven't used the gold Christmas trees, although, you know, this is a layout about outside, so they could work. But no, they're not. They haven't made it onto my layout. But the rest of the mix is blues and greens, which is perfect for this layout today. Yeah, so I've just sprinkled a few of those in the bottom right cluster and over on the left by the photo as well. I've added stitching around the outside edge of my layout, and I'm also now thought I would have a quick look in my Bramble Fox stash and see if there was anything in the right colours that I could use. And I found these dragonflies, which I've not been able to use for ages. These were last year, towards the beginning of the year, I think, in 2020, I believe. They may have been at the end of the previous year. No, I think they were last year, beginning of last year. Anyway, I had a few of I think I had at least 2 packs of these. They were like woodland creatures. I think I had at least 2 packs of those, and I just had the dragonflies remaining in this colour, and a couple of mushrooms as well, or toadstools. So they were ideal for this layout. I mean, I always think it's a real win when I manage to use up some stash from last year or that's a bit older. So I incorporated those as well, and they just go absolutely perfectly. Okay, so that is this layout complete. I really enjoyed making it. I love how it turned out. It was a different design for me, and I really loved it. So check out the April Fox box. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was Niki Rowland for Bramble Fox.